All right. So we're recording. Yay.
Wow, there was no countdown. There was no 15 seconds of silence.
No. We're really off the cuff this week. So
what?
Yeah, I know. We're going.
I was going to do a big intro.
We're going in raw.
Well, okay. Well, who is the one who's wanting a big intro? Identify yourself, sir.
Are we supposed to sing?
Yes.
Where's my background music?
Happy holidays, everybody. I'm putting on my radio voice.
Oh, my. That's lovely. So that's the dulcet tones of Bill Gardner. He's high on wacky pills since his knee reconstruction.
The rest of us are just normally like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you've been on his show enough. You should know. So. Anyway, all right. So the other half, of course, is Ms. Berlin, and the last but not least, the reason we're all here tonight. Not really, but I just wanted to make him feel special.
That's right, Jerry Bell.
That's Jerry.
Yay!
From Defensive Security.
Yay!
We wanted him to feel special because his partner in crime, Mr. Andrew Callett, is out doing something for Christmas, whatever.
Fun. Yeah, it's called having a life. That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. All those other people that had excuses of family and things to do for the holidays. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah. I got kids. Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
My kids are where they're supposed to be, watching TV while I'm working.
There you go. TV babysitter. That's the way mine is, except she's all up on the YouTubes now, and the Netflixes.
One's on PlayStation, the other two are on YouTube.
Oh yeah, she found Voltron. Oh my goodness, Voltron. Oh. Yes, it's all about clans. She ships them some clans. I don't know what that means. So
they watch a lot of Minecraft.
Yep, my daughter did that too.
Other people playing Minecraft. I don't get it. Yeah.
Watching people do things. Yeah.
Well, it helps you as a player. Like I watch people play WoW.
Oh yeah.
World of Warcraft to see if I can get any tips. Usually not so much.
Kind of like listening to people talk about InfoSec, I guess.
Yeah, that really sucks. By the way, for those BrakeSec people, I always suggest that you listen to Defensive Security. I actually like Jerry and Andy. I've known them for a few years now.
I always suggest people listen to Reboot It because
I told you to.
Who does that podcast? Oh, right.
Because Bill lets me sleep at his house sometimes.
Who does that podcast? I forget. So
she also showers in my shower.
Wait, what?
He is the best shower ever. Well, we don't need to get on that topic though.
No, thanks, Amanda.
Wowzers.
When my tenure and review committee meeting comes up, if you could write me a letter, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Best shower.
Best shower. Here's the reason Bill needs tenure. He has the best shower ever.
Maybe we should do a list of best showers in InfoSec.
Well, my shower ain't too bad.
We'll have to come and try all these out. But then again, most of those lists are just made up at lunch over a bottle of champagne anyway. So
right. Yeah.
Speaking of lists that are made up, what's with the top 50 women in InfoSec?
Well, I was going to just list off the top 50 women in InfoSec over this last year.
Have at it.
So number one I picked, I'll just start at one, is me.
Well,
wait. Who
Actually,
made
you're the top 10, aren't you?
That's as far as I've made it.
First 10.
Who made this list? Is this amandaberlin.com or what?
No, but I do have a list on my blog that I can put in the show notes.
Oh yeah.
It's just clickbait though. It says there should never be a list like this.
No, you should. You should have like 5 people and then have a big bunch of ads and click next. Like, listicle.
Yes.
There you go.
Like BuzzFeed.
Yep.
It's the BuzzFeed list for InfoSec.
That's right.
The things about those lists is that sometimes I'll actually get sucked into it and I'm like, who?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know everybody, but I mean, come on.
I know quite a few people on this one that's on.
I know quite a few people too, and it's not. They might be perfectly talented, maybe the best in their class this year. I don't know, but I don't know them. It's weird.
I don't want to be on any lists.
I'm on a bunch of lists, federal lists, but
no fly.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
After this show, possibly.
Yeah,
working on it.
Just wait.
So Jerry, how's the podcast doing for you guys over there? How's defensive security going?
I will say it's been challenging to keep up a regular pace.
Yeah,
just because of life is happening. I feel my parents warned me about this as I was getting older, that life would just feel like it was getting faster and faster. And that certainly is true. So I took on a new job, I guess about 2 years ago, and it just continues to get more and more busy, and so it becomes increasingly difficult to record and actually find time, because Andy's gets pretty busy lately too, and finding mutual time is increasingly challenging. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You did a couple of shows when you were like over in Ireland or something this year, right?
Yeah, I think I did one when I was in Hungary, a couple when I was in Ireland and France, and yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Feel like I've been everywhere lately.
That's awesome. You got to travel at least, so there's that.
Yeah, there's that.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom asked me the other day if I still enjoy flying, because she's like getting on a plane again for the first time in a while. And she's like, yeah, I always get like butterflies or whatever when you're about to take off. I'm like, I'm asleep half the time.
Yep.
Like I'll sit down in that seat and before takeoff, I'm out. So no, I really don't care anymore.
Do you have one of those like broken neck collars to keep your, head from like?
I have one of those. It's called a turtle or something. It's just like it just holds your head up.
Oh,
I've said this before. It's not the flying that bothers me. It's the freaking airports.
Yeah.
I like mine.
Well, it's just, you've been to my airport, haven't you?
No.
They only have the TSA line open from 9 to 9:15. It's not. Wow. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's not my airport, but just I just don't get around very well in airports. They're just big indoor shopping malls for people who happen to be flying from place to place. So, and being stuck in an airport just drives me insane. But
gotta
what grinds my gears? Why don't you go out? I'm here to just bring the entire level,
all of that,
everything down to, things that pisses Bill off.
That could be the title of the podcast.
It's airing your grievances. It's like Festivus.
Don't even get me started.
Well, I always, Jerry, your podcast is always one of the ones on the top of the list of podcasts that I listen to. So you're always one that I recommend to people, regardless of, type or whatever, or what they're trying to do in InfoSec. And, it's just one of them staples that I like hearing. So don't change, even if it's,
thank you.
I just like the name.
Oh,
yeah, it is a cool name, isn't it? Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be a good name for a book someday.
Would.
Oh, huh.
And I know who could write the foreword.
That's right.
Yeah. So everybody here except Bill has actually changed jobs this year, haven't they? Amanda, you've...
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No, it's been 2 years for me, so
okay.
Just
settling. Not unless there's something I don't know about.
No. Sorry, Bill.
Year's not over yet, Bill.
That's right.
I guess I didn't fully change. We had like a spin-off thing where I'm still working for two companies, but getting one paycheck.
Oh, that's wow. Yeah,
that's fascinating.
I did the scary thing of retooling. I left a company of 3.5 years and realized that being a vulnerability manager for the rest of my life was not going to further my career. So I'm now a project manager. So
what are you doing now?
I work for a company here in Seattle.
Amazon?
No.
I'm teasing you.
No, a real company. No, I'm just kidding.
Starbucks.
No,
Ouch.
no.
You're
no.
a barista.
No. It's a security company here called Leviathan there, Bill. You know that.
I'm teasing you. That's
Yeah.
great.
It's scary retooling. A lot of people, it's almost like when I left the Navy, there was an institutionalization there. I was like, am I going to continue to be able to be technical and do my job? And you move over to a new job and you find parallels, or you find things that, hey, I've actually been doing this for a while. It's not hard to do. There's some bumps and stuff like, understanding, the PM side of it, but it's not been too bad.
It's awesome.
They're a good place to work at. So, yeah.
Good.
Yep. So did anybody see that thing on Twitter this morning? About the people getting kicked off of Slack? I mean, this wasn't just like personal, like free accounts. Some people were actually who work at their companies with Slack are getting kicked off.
Yep. It's crazy.
So, they just couldn't access their own, from the U.S. Were they in the U.S. when it happened? Were they gone?
Well, they had apparently. So this guy got a letter. He said, in order to comply with export control and economic sanctions laws and regulations promulgated by the Department of Commerce and the U.S. Department of Treasury, Slack prohibits unauthorized use of its products and services in certain sanctioned countries, including Iran, Cuba, North Korea, Syria, and Crimea region of Ukraine. So apparently either these people have traveled there or were traveling there for business or what have you. Or they were on vacation and they left their work Slack accounts on their phones or on their mobile devices or on their computers. And apparently geolocation updates that Slack has done triggered the bans. So they, and they're having a hell of a time getting reinstated because some of these folks are like, I use it for work.
Well, isn't that just like a sanction that they have to comply with anyways?
Yeah, I think you'll see more of this.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
I think you'll see more of this.
There's got to be other companies that are doing it too. You just don't hear it because not everybody uses them or...
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of companies that are so pro-privacy that they might never actually follow through with it, but technically... anything with strong encryption, anything that would violate the export ban, that would include Signal. I'm trying to think of other things. My brain's not working very fast, but things like that will be an issue.
Well, they banned WhatsApp in Brazil at one time, so you can use WhatsApp over there. So maybe that's along the same lines. How does Jerry? How does your company handle geo blocking? Do they have any kind of software that you have to worry about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, I think as with a lot of large companies, there's a kind of a mix of different strategies. I know one popular way that there's a couple of different companies that actually sell, it's almost like a blacklist. So they help you ferret out, countries or origins that are coming from embargoed countries like Syria, North Korea, Iran.
What if you have business there though?
Well,
see, that's the thing.
You shouldn't be doing business.
Yeah,
with
you're not allowed. And actually, that I suspect that now I don't know all the facts behind this deal with Slack, but you as a U.S. based company, you're not permitted to do business with entities in one of those countries. And so I suspect, I don't know if this is a new thing for them or maybe they just kind of got on the program because they're reading the tea leaves here in the U.S. But that's really been an obligation for them all along. I would suspect.
Right. Well, I mean, the interesting thing is, it's like you're not. I mean, if you took your work laptop with you to, let's say, Syria, for instance, that'd be probably the only place I'd ever be caught, traveling to, if at all. But even if
I would not go to any of the things on that list.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I highly advise you not to.
Yeah, none of those countries are great for women in general.
Cuba would be the only exception. That would be for the rum and cigars, but the rest of those countries, forget it.
Yeah, Cuba's. I actually had the opportunity to go there, but we didn't go for a vacation. But yeah, I could definitely see that there. Yeah, it's just weird. So I mean, what other I mean, are we gonna see more of this with regards to messaging systems, or could it be operating systems? Like, you open up your work laptop, or you open up your personal laptop in Cuba, for instance, and all of a sudden it blue screens on you with a geolocation issue, or activate some kind of bricking mechanism in your computer or your phones. Could your phones be bricked because you're in a location like that?
It's conceivable.
Technically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's technically due.
Yeah.
I think there's also the other side of this is do you really want to be taking electronic devices into countries such as China or Iran? Because you might come back with more software than you went there with.
Well, that's the gift that keeps
True.
on giving them.
Yeah, that's very true. I would say probably China less so than some of the other places, but yeah, I mean, you always have to be careful, and I suspect that the level of concern is going to be based on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you go to those countries anyways with technology, chances are you're going to be blocked from using half of the internet anyway.
Right. Yeah,
There's so many places that geo-block based on countries alone that I feel like you would have to use a VPN to get to the rest of the internet.
Yeah, and an interesting thing, like in China, some of those types of things are actually illegal, right? So, trying to circumvent the controls they put in place. Now, whether or not we agree that they are ethical and humanitarian, that's a different issue, right? But if you're there and you're actively violating their laws, it's not the best.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that. Let's just say that.
Yeah. You don't want to find yourself in a foreign prison.
Yeah. I mean, last time I was there, there were people following you, right? And
wow,
you have minders. So I don't want to be in a Chinese prison. That's all I'm saying.
Nope.
The quote of the day.
I would rather not go to any prison.
Oh.
That should be the title of the show.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
So let's go back. Since this is the year-end review kind of thing, I don't want to do Bill. I don't want to do predictions. I don't like predictions. But
come on, it's an easy thing that I could do.
There'll be big breaches.
That's exactly.
There'll be small breaches.
They'll be bigger than ever.
Credit card breaches. There'll be some Bitcoin wallets that are hacked. I predict a hotel will get hacked.
Some O days.
Let's see. So there'll be some 0 days. Probably a named vulnerability.
Ooh,
my goodness.
Yeah.
There we go.
There will be Twitter drama.
Oh yes.
The cybersecurity skills gap will not be fixed.
Yes.
I would argue we don't have a skills gap. We have a hiring problem.
Yeah.
Discuss.
This is something my PhD work is on. So let's talk offline sometimes.
Okay. I look forward to that. Maybe we could discuss that in the new year. So, So what were some of the big stories that everybody can remember about 2018? Things that happened that were like, oh my God, I can't believe this was a thing, or was it just all kind of melded together into one big ball of fail?
I don't remember what happened this morning.
I would say Equifax is probably, from a security perspective, that was probably like the big,
lots of stuff.
Big 800-pound gorilla. Yeah. I think Facebook is self-immolating. I think that's the right term.
Yep.
Was Equifax the death of whatever last vestiges of privacy we might have had? Because everything's arguably out there already now.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing that I've actually been thinking about. Like, at what point do we cross a threshold where, the incremental harm that could come from someone else having your data is just really not that significant?
Yeah.
And I suppose that it's kind of a dumb question because, just because one entity steals your data doesn't mean that every entity that might want it has it. So,
or will use it.
Correct.
In any way.
Right.
It was the internet's been awash with personal data for
Forever.
years. So there's more of it out there now.
Right. And there's probably more than can feasibly be used. Right. There's you can only commit fraud at a certain rate. So I suspect they're not really wanting for personal data to commit fraud. It's it seems to me like
I think they're probably being being selective with whose data they're committing fraud with.
Exactly.
You target me, you're not going to get a lot of money out of me. Believe me. You target somebody who is a publicly known figure, has money. You're going to get money out of them. So I think that it's not just casting a wide net. It's once you have the fish in a net, you start looking for the big fish and releasing the smaller fish back into the ocean.
Exactly.
So I think the regular person probably has less of a risk of having this done, but I could be wrong.
Didn't the Equifax
you could also just be
it did, but all of the gory details came out this year.
Because I was looking as soon as it dropped, like tanked, I bought a bunch of stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good time to be in the stock market.
No, I was just looking, like, did something else with Equifax just recently happen? Because my stocks were doing fantastic, and now I'm at a loss.
They're on sale. We're having the year-end holiday sale.
It's a fire sale.
Yep.
It is at
it's a full-on fire sale.
They're at $91 a share.
Yep.
Whereas,
if you see
2 months ago, they were at
all your stocks are probably in the same boat.
No, Tesla's doing fantastic.
You have one share?
The S&P 500, I believe, is down more this year than it was in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not going to be a good end of the year for the professionals. Well, we have to give them advice on something.
Right.
Might actually be good advice.
I've got some penny stocks.
Buy low, sell high. Thank you, everyone.
I don't know if we talked about this on a podcast or not, but like my investing strategy with stocks is I wait until somebody's breached, and then I buy their stocks.
Never waste a crisis.
It's a good strategy, actually, but I don't like to play single stocks.
I just do with like play money. I mean, it's real money, but it's just not a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wish I had play money. You printing it in the basement again?
I got some of that the other day in the mail, and it's great because it has all these Chinese characters on it. They're like these crisp $100 bills that my kids were playing with.
She's got that big podcast money. Come on.
Oh, yeah. I'm making all this money we make off of podcasting.
She's got that book money coming in.
Oh, right. Yeah. I have all these side hustles.
Oh, yeah. Right? The book money.
She's got fat stacks of,
the
O'Reilly
Berlin
cash.
Empire is.
Yes.
That's right.
Yep. That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
Amanda Berlin Solutions Incorporated.
No.
Is anybody surprised at the number or severity of vulnerabilities that we've had this year?
Sorry. No, I'm surprised there weren't more.
What do you think started the landslide? Was it like TLS or something? Yeah. Once somebody figured out like all these gigantic pieces of software that are like foundational, having all these issues, it just like landslide from there.
So my
Apache Struts too.
Yeah, Apache Struts was that kind of goes back to Equifax, but Apache Struts has been like the soccer ball for a while. But if you kind of think back to the beginning of the year, we started 2018 with Meltdown Inspector.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that like right out of the chute. And if you look around, just an observation, and I suspect this may have a lot to do with it. There's what I would perceive a really significant entrance or migration towards kind of bug hunting,
right?
And and that I think is manifesting itself in a bunch of different ways. You know, you have all the security companies trying to jockey for a pole position and trying to get their name out there, but then you also have, you know, companies like BugCrowd and others. You know, plus everybody's getting pen tests. You know, every damn regulatory regime now requires pen tests. So I just think there's a whole lot of kind of an unprecedented amount of people looking for bugs these days for a whole variety of different reasons, self-promotion, money, you know, whatever. So I think that's got a lot to do with it. And by the way, I really think that every time we find some new cool thing like Meltdown Inspector, I mean, look, we're on like the 5th iteration of those bugs now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
and I you know, that's going to be fertile ground for drilling for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And I think every time something like that comes up, it spawns new thoughts. Like, holy crap! Nobody thought about going and looking at how the sound card works.
Yeah, right.
Yep. What got me, I think, this year for myself was, we did actually a couple of episodes that I didn't realize about software supply chain stuff. I mean, we did the Node.js stuff just recently with the NPM director of security shortly after the whole flat map issue. But we also talked about another NPM issue where the package manager back in February of this year, when you install it on a system, it actually broke permissions for files like Etsy and user and all these things. And, plug-in dependency hell. I mean, if I used to think, the SANS top 20, just know what software is in your environment, what hardware is in your environment and everything. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not possible anymore. You can't follow and manage that stuff. It's, it's a pipe dream. These CIS top 20 things are like, oh yeah, you just do this. And it looks so easy on paper with that couple sentences there.
Well, if you really,
that's the great thing about being a consultant.
If you're a medium or small organization, it's easy to do. But for everyone else, it isn't.
I would argue that
it's not even that easy.
I don't think so. Not even small and medium-sized businesses. If you're using Node, you've got 1,000 dependencies on anything.
That's the thing. I run a Mastodon instance, which has a Node, which partially uses Node.js, and whenever you do an update, like it pulls in like 3,000 components.
Do you read and research all of those? No.
No.
Nobody does. And nobody is.
There's no way. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yep. I think
I could see a lot more happening with that now.
But it's open source, and of course,
many eyes.
Everybody's
looking at it. Yeah.
Everybody's watching it.
Yeah. I feel bad about, the stuff that Adam Baldwin and them have over there at the NPM team, because he said he has 4 people in himself looking at like 900,000 packages. And I'm like, you can't even begin to fathom how much 900,000 packages is. You can't look at those, not to mention code quality.
You can't.
Yeah. It's ugly. It's really ugly. Wow. All right. So, let me see. Bitcoin ransomware. I laugh at that because that's funny because nothing of real value was lost. And
I was trying to, I looked up
people.
How many years is 900,000 days? Like if you just take a day to look at each one, that's like 3,000 years.
Yes, it is. But he has 5 people, so divide 30 years by 5. So it's only going to take 6 years to go through.
That's what he's billing.
Right.
That's the billables. It's not actually what they do.
Yeah.
So the Bitcoin thing, the whole bomb threat dealio, was it last Friday?
Yeah.
Where they were sending the messages to schools, universities, hospitals.
Yeah.
That freaked a lot of people out, to say the least.
Did you get hit by that?
Not me personally, no.
No, I meant like your university.
Yes, we did.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm on the InfraGard. I'm on the I'm a member of InfGuard on board of directors, so our members were freaking out to the point where the FBI is like, just call this number or go report it at this website. We are aware of what's going on. So, it's just another coin scammers tactic.
Yeah.
So I wonder how many people actually paid their ransom.
Has InfraGard gotten better?
Someone. Yes, I think our InfraGard's cool.
Well, I was just saying, because the InfraGard I used to be in Austin, they the emails were overly vague, didn't really have any information, and came out 3 weeks after everything was already done. So it was like, oh, patch all your systems against X. And we're like, well, yeah, we did that 3 weeks ago, buddy.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. For that sort of thing, probably hasn't gotten any better. For information sharing and the ability to attract interesting speakers about good topics. We just had a briefing from a company that does counterintelligence consulting. That was really interesting. I think that's useful. And I think we have now like 3 members of the 3 or 4 Geeks board on the West Virginia InfraGard Alliance board. So
cool.
We're taking over.
Okay.
We're going to make it Party Central.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I think it really depends on your chapter. And I think the Pittsburgh chapter, which is sort of our sister chapter, is very involved. They do the Three Rivers InfoSec symposium thing that Amanda talked at. They're really big into that. And they always come to HackerCon, Secure WV, and at AID this year. So, they've been very, very good.
Yeah. So speaking of information sharing, we've at least BrakeSec, we've covered several organizations over the years, retail ISACs. The NPM guy talked about an ISAC that he has. Jerry, I'm sure your company's, a member of some.
A few.
How hard is it to, do you share any information with those organizations, and how do you de-anonymize it, or how do you format it so that it's still useful, but not giving your competitors a leg up?
Christ, I think that's a really, really significant problem for a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Because, and I think the larger the company, the more of a concern you have, right? Because it just becomes increasingly difficult, and the desire to want to expose the brand, to the potential downsides. I mean, because when you think about it, the sharing outward doesn't, as a singular instance, doesn't really benefit you, right?
Right.
You benefit from the ecosystem that you're contributing to over the long term, and so I think that a lot of companies have a lot of consternation about that. And this is one area where I think that I don't think the industry does a very good job of managing this. I mean, I think there could be much better ways to share information in a way that fosters participation from companies. And I don't know. I guess I'm not smart enough to know how that would work. What would have to be done to make that work well? But I just tell you that it doesn't work today.
Oh, but before we continue, the theories and opinions expressed by everybody on the show right now, past, present, and future, are not the points of view of our respective employers, past, present, and future.
That is very true.
That's because I listened to Defensive Sec, and Jerry says that, and I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the show. So I was crossing my fingers while you're reading that. Well, so that you're in academia, you're fine. You don't really matter. So yeah.
Nice.
Your tenure track is just whatever ass you can kiss. So that kind of thing.
No. I was going to invite you to come to AID, Mr. Brake, but I don't know.
Damn.
Well, I don't want to have to fly crop duster to get into the airport there. So
No, whoa.
We can fly into
Our
Detroit.
planes-
We can carpool.
ooh,
Our planes have 2 engines at our airport.
props.
Yeah.
You will
Yeah, well,
love driving through the middle of nowhere, Ohio, on the way to West Virginia.
This is me shaking my head. No.
The billboards you see and the houses you see
Oh,
are
my
amazing.
hell. I can only imagine. It probably looks like East Texas or East Washington State here. So
You just don't want to. You just don't want to try my shower. That's what it is.
as long as I'm the only one in it, I'll give it a try. But
I've heard it's amazing.
I'd hate for
It is.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not going to explain it on the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay as long as people don't start breaking into my house and taking showers.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's awkward.
Yeah.
Right.
So about that.
Yeah.
See, I'm just here for entertainment. I bring nothing to this podcast. My own podcast is such a shit show. I have to show up over here and make this a shit show too. So
That's okay. You have a fine podcast, sir.
it's mostly me just hacking on people. But anyway.
That's all right.
We actually did a podcast recently. I'd like to point out we did do episode number something or other.
Yeah.
And at the last conference I was at, I actually had somebody say it was a good podcast.
Well,
So they listened to it.
Oh,
I know them. They drink a lot, so it doesn't surprise me.
Amanda, that was the one you were at with the election. We did the election security one bit, right? Yeah. That was actually really interesting. I'm glad we were able to get somebody at least from the state of Ohio. I was.
Oh yeah.
It is cutting out, huh? Okay.
Every now and then.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'll see your lips moving and nothing's happening.
Oh, great. Okay.
That's what she said.
Oh my. There's our explicit tag. So yeah,
I said shit earlier.
I was surprised that the talk we gave on election security was as popular as it was, because I didn't know what to expect, and it was very non-political. So it was nice to have talk about the policies and processes involved. I'm wondering if we could find some other people from other states to find out how they do election security.
Good luck.
Why is that?
I'd like to point out, you might look at what West Virginia is doing. West Virginia is now doing mobile voting for military members overseas using the blockchain to secure it.
Oh, no.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Mhm.
The blockchain. We're
Blockchain
saved. The
save us.
blockchain. Yeah.
I know like a blockchain expert we can get on.
Yeah, so
Is he
that's
driving
kind of interesting.
Is he
I
driving
hope he
around in
doesn't
his Lambo going
Hope he
hodl,
doesn't
hodl,
listen to
hodl?
this.
Yeah. So this is the blockchain, the whole blockchain security is being done by a startup.
Weird.
Which
Fancy.
yeah, isn't that
Startup,
great?
you say.
Because we know that startups do such a good job of being experts in their field.
Well, they're usually very secure. Or-
Oh,
Yes.
very secure
Mhm.
and well vetted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Security is number one priority in their stuff.
Correct. Just like safety. Yep.
Yeah, safety's number one.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's interesting if you can find those. There's a bunch of articles out there. A lot of the West Virginia Guards involved somehow too.
Okay.
I trust those guys, so I don't know. They won't give me a peek behind the curtain.
The mobile voting thing sounds interesting. I actually have a friend of mine. She's her name's Jean, and she's doing research on using blockchain for like secure ledger and like bookkeeping and online record storing and stuff like that for integrity purposes. Which that's fair. That's a valid method by which to use the blockchain for integrity purposes.
Yeah. Some people have recommended using blockchain for those purposes when it comes to things like land transfers, for example.
Yeah.
So that you have
Or contracts. Yeah.
the deeds and the contracts and everything, but you also have blockchain distributed blockchain ledger. I'm sorry, I should not take a lot of drugs to try to podcast.
Okay.
It's like I'm saying words and they're coming out of my mouth, but they're melting like soft chocolates.
Oh my God.
Makes it even better.
If he runs for president, I've got so much good audio right here. So,
like, really, like, you think that'll matter in this day and age?
No, I think you would.
It's actually, it's actually a feature now.
Yeah. That's what.
Grab them by the blockchain.
We had our own election drama here in Georgia.
Really?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
We, the person who ended up being elected governor was the former Secretary of State who runs the elections here in Georgia, and he accused that he's a Republican and accused the Democrats of hacking hacking the election because apparently
he lost.
Well, no, he won actually.
He did. Okay, I'm sorry.
He won. So actually today they came out and said, well, there's actually no evidence that the Democrats had the election. So this, by the way, it seemed to me, at least at the time, to be one of those situations where a security researcher kind of stumbled onto something and raised awareness, and then suddenly that became an accusation of hacking. So.
We have this ongoing narrative about election hacking. We say election hacking when we refer to the Russian interference in our election. Was that really a hack? No, it was using a lot of memes to really confuse us. And what's technical and what's informational warfare gets muddied. And so I think people are trying to play a political point. Have now are like, oh well, I was hacked.
Yeah.
Because it's convenient and sort of falls into that narrative, even though it may be a false narrative.
Yeah. So I have a question. With the security researcher that reported it, could it have been handled better? Did the person that found the vulnerability just not understand the whole political landscape and implications of it? Could it have been handled in a much better way, like talking to the media versus trying to report it to the Secretary of State's office?
I'm going to guess yes. But I will say I don't know, and I just don't know enough about the case to say one way or another. But I will say that the state of Georgia has had kind of a number of years where we've had similar problems like this, and this is not a new development for Georgia. We had an incident a couple of years ago, not entirely dissimilar, and I think at the time the systems that were involved were actually wiped and under kind of suspicious circumstances, as I recall. So. I mean, I have to imagine that there is probably a better way, but I think that, to be perfectly honest, anytime you're dealing with something political like that, especially now, it's probably a foregone conclusion that someone's going to co-opt your message, and you're gonna lose the ability to control. So even if you go into it with the most, the best plan, it's going to get twisted and contorted in ways that you really didn't intend. So, just for those of you out there who are playing in that space, just be aware of that. And it's it's kind of an ugly minefield right now.
Yep.
And I would also say, by the way, I don't know if this is just my view. The government, especially, but I think the layperson too is kind of taken a view that hacking is almost like modern day witchcraft. It's not understood, and so it seems magical and scary. And so we levy criminal penalties that are kind of commensurate with our level of uncertainty and fear. And I think it drives us to do irrational things, So we look at people who do that, and we don't act.
I mean, I think that's always been an issue dating back to the 90s. But I think we also have the issue now where so many people on the street, normal everyday people, are affected by breaches, are affected by nation state hackers, and they feel helpless.
Yep.
And who's supposed to run to their rescue or aid?
No, it's a great point.
We live in a society where companies are in charge of their own security. Do we nationalize security? That's a really bad idea, but I think that's an ongoing issue. This continued feeling of insecurity.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting dichotomy, because on the one hand, I think you're absolutely right, but on the other hand, I have to wonder, how much harm has the average person who has been affected by Equifax or Anthem or Home Depot or Target or the OPM? To what extent have they actually suffered harm? And I'm not trying to minimize it, but I'm
probably not directly from us, probably not directly, but indirectly.
Right.
I notice, at least in my own circle of friends and also in academia, that phishing attacks are way up.
Yep.
And they're leveraging things that a normal attacker wouldn't know. And I think that may be, I was going to make this point earlier, you might be whale fished. You might,
it's a great point.
Data, you might be targeted because you got a lot of money, or you might just be going down a list or going down to a dump of data that's been breached, and then using that to build phishing campaigns. But, if you want to talk about people who have been phished lately, I get phished 3 or 4 times a day. We have people that get phished at university. I have coworkers whose father and mothers have had issues with things like your Amazon account has been breached. Log in here. I mean, simple phishing stuff, but realistic that they're falling for it. My mother felt prey to a scam. I have a student whose mother actually fell for a scam, actually sent thousands of dollars by UPS to a PO box someplace. My student was able to get most of the money back, but and these people are not stupid, and I think a lot of it's generational.
Yeah.
The IRS contacts you. It's the IRS. You need to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're using, I keep getting email from Amanda Berlin saying that she needs to send me $500 in Target cards, and I trust Amanda Berlin. I mean, that's a stupid example, but they're getting email from people who they trust.
Yep.
So I don't know that they're directly affected by these breaches, but I think that some criminals are leveraging these breaches. And I don't have other than my own experiential experience to back any of this up. But I think that maybe those breaches have led to something a little bit bigger. And it'd be interesting to see, look at internet crime, IC3 reports as they come out this year, next year, to see how much got reported to the FBI. Because I send everybody there now. It's like, we don't know about, we can't count it didn't happen. And you might not get your money back, but we need to know about it.
IC3's Internet Crime Complaint Center.
Yeah.
Link in the show notes.
The Internet Crime Complaint Center.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I think we've done our due diligence here for the final year-end podcast. Is anybody have any other thoughts or, talk about your podcasts a little bit specifically,
We're supposed to go around and say something big we accomplished or something, right? This an inspirational end of the year, right? Or no?
Are we just setting you up for something here? Go ahead.
No, that's what we did last time.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's save the best for last. Mr. Bell, what did you do this year that was interesting?
Let's see.
So So I have. I mean, it's kind of timely. I had kind of a life-changing thing happen last weekend. One of my employees lives in Panama City Beach.
Okay.
And as you may know, that area was hit by Hurricane Michael about 2 months ago.
Yep. And
so she's fortunately she lived in a part of town that wasn't really impacted, but she asked me to come down and help. So my wife, primarily my wife, but to some extent me, collected all sorts of gifts and whatnot to give to people who basically lost everything, like families who lost everything. And we ended up helping about 24, my wife and I and some of my coworkers and some of our family friends ended up helping about 24 kids across, I think, 10 families or 12 families. And it was, and we got to actually go around and drive around and deliver these gifts. It was really incredible. Like I don't even know how to explain it. The damage alone was kind of surreal. Like 60 in Panama City, I would say about 60% of the commercial buildings were completely demolished.
Goodness.
And a lot of the I don't know what the percentages of houses were, but tons and tons of damage. And unfortunately, a lot of the places that seemed, at least to me, to be worst hit were kind of low income. And so it was just really it kind of really hit home that like I complain about work and whatnot, and then I go and I literally had helped a family out. The only thing they wanted for Christmas was charcoal and lighter fluid. Wow. Because they couldn't they couldn't afford to heat stuff up to cook, and we got them a heck of a lot more than charcoal and lighter fluid, but it was just kind of, this is obviously not InfoSec, but just kind of on top of my mind. So I it was a great experience.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I've never gotten a chance to do that. I think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And look, this is the season of giving, I guess, right? So if you haven't done that and you're listening, it's still time.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Go be nice.
Doesn't take much to make a difference. Yep.
That's right. That's what I learned.
Yep. Bill, how about you?
I got a new knee.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, how the hell did I follow that?
Sorry.
You're fine.
Like, couldn't have had Jerry go last?
No, I honestly, I know it just happened, but I feel like 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
It's not just a medicine, and I'm very happy that hopefully I will be able to go to conferences and be able to walk around without feeling like I'm going to die.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
And I can't wait to get the other one done. What else was I accomplished? I didn't die, and I didn't kill any of my students. So those are probably 3 accomplishments for this year.
Those are 3 big.
Did some of them need killing? Is that what you're trying to say? Or
no, gosh,
okay.
Just frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
At least I used to have to fire people at my old job.
Yeah.
Now I have to fail them, and it's a little less of a blow, but still
less satisfying.
No, I hate to fire people. There's a difference between giving someone an F and telling them that, oh, by the way, no more paycheck for you. So yeah,
right.
It's not the end of the world.
Right on. Well, I mean, I took a pay cut to retool as a PM.
Yeah, but that's like
that's a big jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed being a PM.
Well, I realized that I was never going to be, where I was at my current job, I was stuck. Not even if somebody died, I'd be able to move laterally. So I left the job that I was at, and for I don't know, for about 2.5 years, and I didn't tell them this on the way out. If they listen, I apologize, but for like the last 2 years, it felt like they were going to find out that I wasn't. It's not that I wasn't useful, but if I felt like I wasn't doing anything of use to them, and they would find that out one day and realize they didn't need me. So I realized that I'd done blue team for about 17 years, and I was still the low man on the totem pole, the bottom rung. And I was like, well, I need to, I'll be 40 next year, for God's sake. 3/4 of my life is over with right now. So I needed to move up in my career, or I was going to be, some blue team person for the rest of my life. So
I hope it's only half of your life, because you don't want to die at 60.
It's close to 3/4 the way my family goes. But I wanted to get where Jerry was, and that way I figured
Ty's older than you.
Yeah, Jerry's he's turning 35 next year, and I thought, well, I'm not even anywhere near close to where he is. So.
Yeah, we have Jerry and I have the same birthday.
Yeah,
I hate you all.
Bill, I'm a little older than that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You what, like 44?
Well, Jerry, we have a son the same age, right? I think so.
I got one in college and one driving.
Your youngest, yeah. Your youngest is the same age as my oldest.
I think so.
And Bill's been collecting Social Security checks for about 15 years now. So.
I know. And one of these days they're going to catch on.
But
yeah, it's.
I'm probably. I don't know. I always say that I'm probably the oldest. I just turned 55.
Oh wow!
But my knee's only a week old.
Oh,
there's that.
You can have a birthday for your knee every year.
Here's the thing about my life, and this is something I should point out too. I actually entered a PhD program and have not failed out yet.
Nice.
But by the time I graduate, I'll be over 60 years old. So I'm like, should I just go ahead and retire? Like, get my PhD, get my cap and gown, my hood, and just like mic drop.
Screw you all.
Yes.
I'm out of here.
Fuck you. I'm going home.
Well, but who's going to pay your student debt off when you pass away? Because like doctorals is like expensive, ain't it?
Not when you work.
Well, not when you work at the university. It's like basically
that's
free.
How you do it. Okay.
I have to pay student fees, which pisses me off because I'm paying for like things that I never use. Although I might use the rec after I get my knee all rehabbed.
That's right.
Yeah.
You set in a hot tub. You have to go early in the morning because people do things in that hot tub anyway. It is a college campus.
Yeah, never use the hot tub at a college.
Always, if you're going to go very early in the morning.
They still don't clean it.
Yeah, they do. Two of my guys work at the rec. They let me know when it's either red flag or green flag.
So if there's a red flag, don't open the door.
2 red flags.
Black flag.
I just shut it all down.
Black flag conditions in the swim pool. Or brown flag. There's a brown flag for the swim pool. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't even want to know. Like sometimes seriously, like, we had to shut down the pool for a while, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to know.
Yep.
Nope.
Also, these study tents in the library, you can't tell me that people didn't make out in the study tents.
What's a study tent?
I don't understand why else you would have a study tent.
Well, it was supposed to be so you could go. The universities put them up so people could go chill out. I'm like, people are going to make out in a study tent. You can't tell me that that's not what's happening there.
That's all I would do.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well,
how do you think you got here?
These kids today.
I thought it was
you gotta make them cookies, and you gotta give them milk. You gotta have
the back of a Chevy pickup, not a tent.
And you have to have the best rec center in the nation.
Bill's Bill, do you got an onion in your belt, as is the fashion at the time? You yelling at clouds over there? Is that what it is?
Old man yells at clouds. I'm sitting here with my cane tapping it on the floor.
That's right.
Blair needs to bring my medicine. Where's my medicine?
Oh my hell.
God.
Oh my hell.
And we're done.
Yep. So last but not least, Miss Berlin, what did you do this year that was of note?
Not a lot.
You did a year-end podcast.
I've done it. Yes.
You were the keynote at a number of different.
I keynoted a lot of places. Like, it seems like you get on a list once you keynote one place. They're like, holy shit, she keynotes. And then
actually, we couldn't find anybody else.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I get that from a lot of people. Like, we've used everybody else that talks on stage. How about you?
Yeah.
And then, of course, all the stuff that I've already been like talking like crazy about, all the mental health hacker stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah,
that's
very cool.
Going very well.
Cool.
So that's a big accomplishment for you, by the way. So, and congratulations on that.
Yeah.
I can't wait until it's like officially a 501c3, because then we can actually do more.
Oh, I thought you were already there. Okay.
No, we're incorporated as a nonprofit.
Never mind.
As long as you're operating as a nonprofit, the IRS designation.
We are operating as a nonprofit.
You're good.
We have 2 years to get
you're fine.
Official thing. The lawyer said we could do it. So
actually, if you have any problems with that, let me or Matt Perry know.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of nonprofit stuff between 3 or 4 Geeks and AID and everything else.
Yep.
Wow. Nice.
And we're not lawyers, although we play one on TV.
Yep.
I have a decent lawyer, so we'll see. He was nice enough to join our last board meeting. So
nice. Okay. All right. Well, let's finish this up. Jerry, tell us where people can listen to you on the reg.
Defensivesecurity.org. Be there, be square.
Yep. And it's at Defensive Sec on Twitter.
Correct.
And you're at
infosec.exchange on Mastodon.
Oh, fancy. I'll have to get on that Mastodon at some point.
I was on Mastodon once, like 10 different places, and then it was just too much, so I left.
Yeah, I don't understand why people make so many damn accounts, but hey, you do you.
I just giggled like a 5-year-old when I heard about toots, so I didn't understand.
What?
It's not my favorite.
That's what a Mastodon is. You toot.
Instead of a tweet, it's a toot. Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
toot,
beans,
toot.
the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. Anyway.
Thanks.
Bill.
Yes.
Bill. Yeah. Where can people listen to you and, you know, your wonderful musings?
DM me and I'll give you his address.
Oh.
You cannot shower in my house without my permission.
That's good to know.
So actually RebootItPodcast.com is no longer there.
Oh.
But we are still on iTunes. We're on Audio Boom. We're audioboom.com channels 491. Here, how about I just copy and paste it in the pod?
That's a good idea. And you're on YouTube.
Audio Boom.
I'm on YouTube. We record on YouTube. I'll send you everything
Audio Boom.
here on the... Because apparently whenever you take medication, you can't read.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just...
That's very true.
Being West Virginia.
That's why you're not in pain, because you're still on the good stuff.
Actually, I'll be honest with you. I have not taken but 2 pain pills today.
That's good.
I was on the good stuff
take
for
one.
like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful because I've been able to poop for the first time in a few days.
Oh my God.
Oh, what are we
Look, as you get older, that's an important thing. Come on.
Well, when you take
off.
high-powered pain medicine, yes, it's fun.
You're right. It's narcotics just it's terrible for everything inside.
Yep.
So I've been lucky. I've been able to have to take one of them.
About it, though.
This has been the Bodily Function Podcast.
Yeah, no joke.
Tune in tomorrow when I tell you about my circumcision at age 14.
Right.
Oh God. Has anybody ever read like the what is it for Cards Against Humanity? That's how you get to pick who goes first.
Who went poo last?
Who pooped last? Yeah. It's my favorite part.
It's genius. Great.
That's your favorite part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So, Bill, you're going to put the link to your podcast in show notes.
I just did. Apparently, you can see it.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
There it is.
Wow,
Damn
that's weird. Yeah. Okay. RSS feed, audioboom.com channels. Wow. Don't even know what Audio Boom is.
You just look at the show notes. It's a long thing.
Yeah,
it's
weird.
Also the link to iTunes. And I've been finding the podcast in just weird places. Like people have been collecting them.
Yeah.
And sending them out. So
okay, right on. So, Ms. Berlin, tell people how they'd find you.
So one of my 10 Twitter accounts.
Oh, right.
Info Sister, INFOSYSTIR, and then for the mental health hackers, we have @Hackers Health. Yeah,
nice.
@Hackers Health.
Yep. Oh yeah. By the way, it's @Lurg and @Malicious Link for the defense security folks over there. So, yeah, you can hook up with Jerry and Andy specifically. So, one of the other things I'm proud about, in addition to the podcast, where you can find us on Twitter @BrakeSec, is our hugely successful Slack. We have. I just saw a pinned message in March when we welcomed our 1,000th user. We actually have over 1,600 now.
Wow.
So we've
awesome.
We're very active on there. We have a lot going on. Ms. Berlin, coordinates her Hacker Secret Santa stuff through there, which I got my stuff. That was pretty awesome. I got a Where's Waldo book with Spock in it, where I had to find Spock, which was awesome. We have a CTF club. We have a book club that's going on right now. We have it going on every other week. Tons of channels. We have our mental health channel that Ms. Berlin is a big fan of. CSEC East, which is my local Seattle meetup. So, I mean, we have a ton of channels on there for people of all appetites on the InfoSec realm. So if you are interested in joining that, you can hit us up on Twitter @BrakeSec or hit bds.podcast@gmail.com and we'll get you an invite. And we have a social contract. We don't do politics. We haven't banned anybody yet, so maybe you're the lucky person. I don't know.
Is that a challenge?
Yes, Bill.
Sounds
I'm
like
gonna ban you now, so we don't have to worry about
preemptive banning. Yeah, he's actually a member of our Slack. Bill is, so yeah. He just doesn't come in there. He might now that he's bedridden for now, but you can follow me on Twitter @Bryan Brake, BryanBrake. Mr. Betcher, who is usually here, except for during the holidays when he's got kids and he has priorities. You can find him at Betcherpwned, BOETTCHERPWNED. We also launched the Breaking Down Incident Response podcast this year too. So Michael Goff, Hacker Hurricane, is one of the co-hosts over there on that with Mr. Betcher. And, they do the LogMD thing, which is going swimmingly. So you can find out everything about LogMD on malwarearchaeology.com. And, it's awesome that when Ms. Berlin or myself say, hey, let's get some podcasts together and do stuff, we have people who actually show up and care. Jerry and Bill and all the other folks would have loved to have been here in spirit, but the holidays being what they are, I'm not gonna.
We got a third of the people I invited, so
yeah, that's awesome.
It's not too bad.
I missed the meetup at DerbyCon, so I'm making up for that.
Well, we didn't really have
there
one.
Wasn't one.
Yeah, we kind of had the pizza party with about 50 pizzas, and we all sat around and then went to watch Hacker Who's Line or whatever. So, but yeah, it was, that was an interesting thing. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do DerbyCon next year with, we had to order 50 freaking pizzas at,
we'll just have to invite certain individuals and we'll do it in my hotel room again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. We're talking about the podcast meetup, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We had a separate BrakeSec meetup with like 100 people,
yeah.
And it was crazy, utter craziness. So it was awesome, though. A lot of people, made this jackass with a microphone feel real special. So I appreciate everybody for all that. So, any closing words, Jerry, Bill?
Have a prosperous New Year, everyone. I almost got that out without stuttering.
Yeah. Happy holidays. Love you all.
Merry Christmas. Didn't anybody cover that yet?
Happy Festivus. Yeah.
Happy belated Hanukkah.
There you go.
Yes.
Right on. Okay. Well, that was it for this year, Breaking Down Security. We will be back, I don't know, in a couple of weeks. We're going to take the holidays off. I think it's probably going to be the week of, we're going to start our 6th year. 6th. Probably the week of the 12th with I think we have an interview on the 12th, as a matter of fact. So that's awesome.
So I was trying to think, have I been on it for 2 years now or just one?
This will be the start of the 3rd year. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Start of the 3rd year.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, y'all are organized. You have like interviews and stuff. I just like message people and go, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast?"
And sometimes you just call them.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Hey,
say, hey, guess what? You're on a podcast now.
Oh,
we're halfway through.
It's just, oh man.
Wow. Much guilt there. Wow. Anyway.
Wait, this was a podcast?
Yes,
exactly.
It was. Surprisingly, yeah. So, that was it for the Breaking Down Security podcast and for the Defensive Security podcast and the Reboot It podcast. I'm Bryan Brake with Jerry Bell, Bill Gardner, and Ms. Amanda Berlin. Have a great rest of your year. Have a good time. Please take care of yourselves, because as I'm prone to say now after our hacker mental health, you're the only person you have. So take care of you. And be nice to one another, and we'll talk to you again in the new year.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.